Naruto was not carried by his genetics.
That may seem like an absolutely absurd take, but let's kind of go down his line of logic, right? So the only thing Naruto actually gained from his lineage, right, is from his mother's clan, which is the Uzumaki clan, which gives him just enhanced chakra. Now, I do want to mention that the chakra reserves he gains is astronomical, but having more chakra doesn't make you stronger. You have to train and learn other jutsu, etc., to see advantages of having more chakra. And your boy Naruto put in that fucking work to make this enhanced chakra work for him, even though Kurama was fucking with his chakra control and making a lot of shit fail because of it. But let's kind of look into some other characters in Naruto who have an exceedingly crazy genetic linked abilities called Kekkei Genkai, otherwise known as bloodline abilities. Let's start with the most famous, the Sharingan. The Eye of Insight grants some absurd abilities that just having increased chakra doesn't really compare. The user can see your opponent's chakra and even your own to certain extents, and detect distortions in a person's chakra flow, like is commonly done through genjutsu. So one Tomoe gives you the ability to see your opponent's chakra, how much they have left, and genjutsu resistance, which is absolutely insane. It also grants the user the ability to copy almost any ninjutsu, genjutsu, and taijutsu they see with almost peerless accuracy. The Eye of Hypnotism also grants the user precognition in the form of analytical prediction, which is also fucking incredible. Now, these are just baseline things granted by just having a Sharingan. You don't even need anything beyond baseline Sharingan in order to access these abilities. It also allows you to cast Genjutsu with increased potency without the use of hand signs, vastly increasing the speed of use because you use it out of your eye. Like I said, this is base Sharingan. Increases in Tomoe only increase the potency. Now, I'm just going to mention a few MS abilities, the evolved form of the Sharingan, and move on, as I don't think you all need to tell you in detail what they do. And if you do, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll make a video on it expeditiously. Tsukiyomi, a supreme genjutsu that affects all five senses and puts you in an illusionary world that also affects a sixth sense, known as your perception of time. To the extent that for every 1 second in the normal world, only 1 picosecond has passed for the person affected. An easier way to think of it in terms of speed, right? Light would only have traveled 0.3 millimeters in that time frame. To give you kind of some perspective on that, it is insanely fast, or an insanely short amount of time. Kamui allows the user access to an entirely separate dimension. One eye is focused on close range and the other is further. Both eyes granting the user the ability to bring themselves in the dimension. That is another misconception that a lot of people have, which is strange. Kakashi does it, and so does Madara. So both eyes grant you this ability. Not only that, it gives you some intangibility because you're able to move parts of your body into the Kamui dimension if you have both of these eyes, or just the one that allows is short range. If you have the long range, or both, you can send a piece of a target or an entire target into the Kamui dimension. Bypassing all conventional durability, you can snipe people's heads off, and they can't do anything about it unless they have greater spatial manip, etc. Now, this may not be an MS itself, it is an MS ability, the Izanagi. It's bullshit. It's bullshit the ability. Watch the Donzo fight. Or read it. I recommend reading it. Now, I could keep going on for minutes just listing MS abilities and other things the MS grants you, but I think I've made my point on the MS and the Sharingan in general. Now, how about I go to the next dojutsu, the Rinnegan. Okay, let's rapid fire these abilities with the base Rinnegan because, once again, I could go on for quite a while on these. The Deva Path allows you to control attractive and repulsive forces, essentially giving you force push and force pull, which, while doesn't sound incredibly useful, if you just watch or read the pain fight, you'll understand what I'm talking about here. You can also see Sasuke use this to great effect, or read it to great effect, when he's fighting Naruto, and if Naruto was the one who got it speared through, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Soul removal with the human path. You get various summons, ridiculously strong for like Jonin level and above through the animal path. You can absorb chakra through the Preta path, not only stealing your opponent's chakra, but refilling your own. Sounds incredibly useful. And access to the King of Hell through the Naraka path, which also gives you more access to summons, and etc. The outer path is said to allow the user to essentially revive the dead. And we see this to, once again, great effect. The outer path also grants chakra transmission through black receivers, allowing you to control people's bodies or absorb it or whatever. You can also manifest chakra change to bind the tailed beast or your opponents. The creatures summoned through the animal path and the King of Hell, all of which possess copies of the Rinnegan in their own eyes, sharing their sight, granting you their vision as well. Now let's get into the Byakugan. Individuals with Byakugan have almost 360 field of vision around themselves, except for a minuscule blind spot above the first thoracic vertebrae. Sorry if I mispronounced that. They can also see large distances away, see chakra to a much finer detail than even the Sharingan. They can also see if a target is using a genjutsu like the Sharingan. It also grants the user some predictive precog like the Sharingan, which is absolutely insane once again. It can also see an infra-fucking-red. I think I've made my point when it comes to the genetics of the Naruto inverse. Wasn't handed much of anything in terms of genetics. There is so much more I can cover, but at a certain point, I'm just listing shit. Thank you for being here and listening to the video. OverGoat out.